You gonna come out? Come on. Hey. 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 You ducks. Waddles. Puddles. Hello. Come on out. No? They're quiet now. Hear that? They know. They know we're watching. We're waiting for them to come out. Come on. Good morning, guys. We're at the workshop today, and it's that time of year again where we start thinking about what the heck are we gonna get our friends and family for Christmas. And I've got the perfect solution to that, and we're gonna make it today. Charcuterie boards out of logs we've collected over the years. We've got them special logs, you know? Special logs, we're gonna cut them into slabs. Charcuterie. I think that's French for expensive wood. We're gonna start this at the sawmill, and we're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you my collection of interesting wood that I've put aside over the last year, thinking that, hey, I'm gonna make these into fine serving trays. Some charcuterie boards. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. On the road to charcuterie, we generally start with a log. So let's go find our logs. I pile mine by the sawmill, and I pile the interesting ones there that I think may have some interesting character in them, some nice grain, interesting crotches, and we're gonna slab them up. I got a special jig made up. You set it on the sawmill, you set your logs in place, and then you mill your wood. Then comes the fun part, the finesse, let's say. Join me at the sawmill. So this here is my special jig, and it's made out of 2x4s, and I basically place it on the mill, and then I screw my pieces of wood to it, holding them, so when I sawmill they don't come flying off, because that would suck. So yeah, you just screw the board in. So now that we've got our logs secured, we've got 3 different types of species here. We've got a maple, which has got a spalting in it, which is the mold that forms between, I don't know what's, spalting is when the moisture gets in the wood and it basically starts to mold and it creates black lines. It'll actually look really cool. Now next up is this guy. This guy is cherry wood, and this came from Don's backyard. Remember my helper Don? Well, you know my helper Don? This is from his backyard. It's a neat little crotchy cherry tree. And then this over here is a chunk of walnut. The elusive black walnut. This board alone is probably worth thousands, I don't know. Everybody thinks black walnut's worth a lot of money. It's basically firewood. So these are all destined for firewood. And we're gonna take these logs and we're gonna turn them into $1 million charcuterie boards. We're just gonna let that guy warm up for a second. So that's our cherry board. This is our maple. So that's our spalting. See the spalting on that? Is our walnut board. Have a look at that. Well, I've got the jig set up. I might as well make some more. Obviously, having a sawmill to do the job is a lot simpler, easier than, let's say, if you had to do it with a handsaw or like an axe or some sort of other tool to split the logs. But there is another way to do this if you don't have a bandsaw. So as you can see, you can do it with a chainsaw. It does make a nice, well, pretty smooth cut. This is Norway maple, so it's a little harder wood and it's a little wetter wood. This will take a long time to dry. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So when we do these things, you probably want to do these before you got to give them away, because you want to let them air dry. There is a hack to do it, to speed up the process, and it involves, you know, taking the oven, sticking them in the oven for like 6 hours or something at not burning, whatever temperature that is, like 150. And every once in a while you open the door, and if you don't get steam in the face, it means it's dry. That's the way I've done it in the past. If you don't have a kiln, maybe we should build a kiln. Maybe that's on the agenda. Anyway, so this is a slab. This could be used as a charcuterie board as well if you don't have a sawmill and you just have a chainsaw. And if you only have a handsaw, well, good luck. And if you fail at this, you've always got firewood, which is my favorite. Look at this stuff. This could be used for bedding, for animals, gerbils, hamsters. All right, we got our basic shape of our charcuterie board all down pat. It's relatively smooth. It comes off the sawmill really, really nice. We're gonna further smooth it down with a belt sander to get all those little roughness out, and then we'll take our palm sander out and further smooth it. Gonna need some more power for that. I got my generator started. I'm gonna sand this thing. A lot of the times, what you're gonna find is that your charcuterie board isn't perfectly flat, and that's okay. Nothing's flat. Well, some stuff's flat. You can see it kind of rocks. Next step is to put little feet on it. I've done some research, and I went to buy them, and I went to the store, and they were selling like packs of 4, and they were like these cheap little rubber feet. And I was thinking these things are like $5 or something like that. Like, why would I buy little rubber feet and stick them on the bottom of my natural piece of wood? Why don't I just use a piece of wood? So this is a branch, a normal branch. It's a dry branch. And what I'm gonna do is actually cut little feet off of them. So what you do is when you cut your feet is you compensate for the rock. So you put 3 feet on, and wherever it's rocking, adjust that 3rd or the 4th foot in order to prevent the rocking. That's all you need. You don't need much. Fourth foot. Itty bitty screws, and I like to use stainless screws because the idea is you should be able to wash this thing. You don't want to submerge the charcuterie board into water, but you should be able to wipe it down. And if you use anything besides, you know, stainless steel screws, they might rust, and that would be bad. Pre-drill a little bit out so I can countersink the screw. See, she rocks. So one was longer, one was shorter, so I just swapped them apart, and now it's pretty good. And if you can't get the feet quite right, you can always take your sander and just knock off a little bit of the feet. It's another cool tool segment. While we're waiting for the oil to dry on that guy, we're gonna take a look at this guy, which is a company called Work Sharp. It's the wood tool sharpener. This is a device that actually it's a benchtop device, so you should secure it to your bench. It allows you to sharpen your wood tools like a chisel. You're basically your bevel. You can adjust your bevel. You can adjust your sanding grit. It's got these glass discs that allow you to actually push your chisel up inside, and you can hone your chisels. Look at how sharp that is. I don't know if you can see that. It's insanely sharp, razor blade sharp. So that's the Work Sharp wood tool sharpener, and that's this brand in particular is the 3000. So the guys at Work Sharp decided to do a giveaway. So this is what they're giving away. They're giving away this guided field sharpener and this thing, which is a really fancy knife sharpener. I think the way to enter this contest is to actually comment the word Work Sharp in the comments below, and then from those named, we are going to pick somebody at random and send this guy out. There might be 3 sets of people that get this guy and this guy. Link will be in the description below. You can have a look at Work Sharp. Image stabilization for ducks. They're not as good as a chicken. This thing's for you. Make you warm. So I listened to some of your advice. In particular, one gentleman
mentioned that I should build a straw bale house. And why didn't I think of that before? So I acquired some straw bale, and I created a little duck house. This is a pretty cozy house. Like they do build straw bale houses. Usually they parge the outside, and that prevents the water from getting into the straw bale and preventing, like, it basically you lose R value as your straw gets wet. So I've got the tarp, the November rain and the December rain and the January rain. I don't know why it rains in the winter. It should just snow. Our bubble building tarp on top of our straw, keep us nice and warm. The ducks are very warm when I was holding them. Should solve that problem. I just got to deal with the water, which I think I've got a solution to that coming. Either I think it's a solar powered waterer that keeps it warm. It's not really an issue getting the water, it's just maintaining it from freezing solid. But the ducks are smart. They tend to break the ice on the top to get water, so they're smart that way. Not like chickens. Chickens, the water freezes and they're just like, oh, I guess we're not drinking anymore. They're inside their little home. It appears to be warm enough. You guys gonna come out? The duck in there? Quack. All right.
Okay guys, that pretty much wraps up our charcuterie board build. I think it turned out great, and half the... Hey Mark.
Hey, I smell Parmesan.
All right, Mark's just in time. Let's enjoy some charcuterie.
What's this? Bean. You want like that? Is that good stuff?
Well guys, I think that turned out great. I am going to enjoy it. Hey Mark.
Hey guys, is that Parmesan?